All right, guys, another question we get asked all the time is what caliber of gun we're shooting. We shoot several different calibers. We've got a 22 nozzler right here. We've got another identical gun to this in a 204. We've got a 22 nozzler in an AR, 22 250. Any of those 22 caliber, Mike even shoots a 243 from time to time and down to a 17. So it really, everyone's asking what's the best gun for coyotes? And the question we're gonna ask you is, do you care about the fur? If you're not worried about skinning them, anything like that, the best gun for coyotes is the gun you have. You don't need to have a gun specifically for coyote hunting, but if you do, anything in that 24 caliber to 17 caliber, anywhere in between, and a lot of that depends on your country. Some of you guys in some of the thicker stuff back east, down south, you know, you might not be taking shots much more than 100, 150 yards tops maybe. Out here in the stuff that we hunt, this wide open stuff, we've taken shots at 500, 600 yards.
Hey, you had one at 573.
At 572.
Okay.
Don't church it up. And that was luck, by the way. But yeah, as far as a fur-friendly load, it's more the speed that we've found out than it is actual the bullet. I'm shooting, out of this 22 nozzler, I'm shooting a 53 grain Hornady VMAX. And I've killed about 45 or 50 coyotes with this specific gun this year. Well, between this one and the AR, shooting the same load out of both guns. And I've really only blown up a couple of them. And some of those were because I shot through a bush, bullet fragmented. And out of my 22 250, I was shooting that pretty hot at about 3,800 feet a second. And everything I hit, I was blowing up. Even the straight on chest shot, which is usually just a pinhole, it was blowing them up. So I actually took that load, slowed it down to about 3,500 feet a second, and made a world of difference. So it's not necessarily the caliber or the gun, it's more the speed of the bullet. Mike has shot coyotes with his 243. You know, you'd think that's a bigger gun, it's gonna blow them up at 75 and 100 yards, and it's left nothing but a pinhole. So it's really the speed more than anything, and the angle of the shot. A lot of time, if you hit anything in that shoulder, you're gonna have a good chance at blowing something up, or if they're moving. The majority of the time, even if they're walking, you'll have a tendency to, you know, blow them up a little bit. But as far as calibers go, that's what we like. Anything in that 22 caliber, you know, does the trick on coyotes. We do prefer like this 22 nozzler, 204, 22 250 over say a 223 because they are a little bit flatter, have a little more pop to them out there at that, you know, 300 and 400 yard distance. So takes a lot of the guesswork of holdover out for us. So again, guys, if you have any questions, please comment below. We'll try to get them all answered as best we can. Thanks. All right, guys, we're gonna talk shotgun. As you can see, I didn't bring mine on the stand. I left it sitting in the truck. But we get that again all the time. What shotgun are you shooting? Nothing fancy. Shooting a Remington 870. Shoots 3-inch mag. A lot of people are getting where they're shooting a 10 gauge or where they can shoot up to a 3.5 inch. That's great. I haven't had one. Haven't really felt the need for it, I guess you could say, yet. But a Remington 870. Synthetic stock gun I can throw in the back of the truck, not worry about beating it up or anything like that. And the loads we shoot, either a number 4 buck or BB shot is the size. And make sure it's lead shot, guys. If you try and kill coyotes with steel shot, you're going to lose more coyotes than you kill. It's just plain and simple. And it is tough to find lead shot. There is some of the dead coyote loads that I believe those are 4 buck, and actually some number 2 shot in those, I believe. And they're super expensive. They're 50 bucks for 10 shots. So, but if you can find any copper plated or nickel plated lead shot, or even just lead itself for a shotgun, I do like to shoot an extra full turkey choke. Depending on the gun and how it patterns, and that's what you need to figure out if you're shooting a turkey model. By turkey model, I mean a shorter model gun, shorter barreled gun. Make sure you pattern that on paper, because sometimes if your choke tube's too tight, what'll end up happening is when it gets condensed down at the end of the barrel, those BBs will actually distort. And you'll notice that if you're putting that on paper, you'll see that's starting to happen, and it'll just make your BBs scatter everywhere. So yeah, I shoot that extra full turkey choke out of my shotgun with the majority of the time that copper plated BB. And I mean, it's effective out to...
It's effective. Define effective.
It's tough. It depends. It could be 40 yards is about where I'm max comfortable. I have killed a couple at 60 or 70, but not many. And a lot of that has to do with if the coyote knows you're there or not. If the coyote doesn't know you're there and you've got your shotgun shouldered, 9 times out of 10, when you pull the trigger, that coyote's going straight to the ground. When they know you're there and they've got in close and you whip the shotgun up, or they see something and they start getting out of there and you start shooting, odds are you're gonna empty your shotgun on that coyote to get it killed, because they get that adrenaline dump, that kind of that fight or flight instinct, I guess you'd say. They get that adrenaline going and they get very difficult to kill with a shotgun with one shot. I mean, on several of our videos you guys have seen, and more times than I can imagine, I've put, you know, 3 or 4 on a coyote at less than 20 yards before it finally put them down, because they knew they were in trouble. So, little tips on the shotgun. If you guys have any questions on this, please leave down in the comments down there, and we'll try and answer those as best we can. Thanks.